Yeah, Dr. Elian Kepler stepped gingerly over the jagged shards of metal and plastic littering the ruins beneath Steel Haven. The city had been built eons ago, atop even more ancient ruins left behind by the mythical progenitors, including the legendary human race, now extinct. Elian was an accomplished scientist of the Centauri people. His purple skin and large oval head marked him as alien, though his curiosity and deductive intellect differed little from the humans he studied. He had spent many cycles exploring these ruins, hoping to find remnants of lost knowledge. Stooping down, Elian brushed dust off a large fragment, revealing intricate servo mechanisms underneath. His heart quickened as he realized this was a limb segment belonging to an automaton, perhaps even an ancient progenitor construct. He quickened his pace, shoveling aside more debris until the form of a robotic humanoid became visible. It was slumped against a crumbling pillar, inactive. The automaton was clearly feminine in form, with delicate features and lithe proportions belying its mechanical nature. With great care, Elian began examining the construct. Its outer chassis seemed resistant to the erosion of time, though patches of synth skin had deteriorated to reveal the complex circuitry underneath. He traced the intricate mechanisms with a sense of reverence. Most astonishing was the design itself. Compact servos, dense computation cores, and exotic power cells indicated sophistication far beyond any robotics of the current age. Elian's mind raced at the implications. This automaton was progenitor work, perhaps even crafted by humanity itself. Gingerly manipulating the inert machine, Elian managed to access a primary control panel along its spine. He activated his scanner, poring over the intricate architecture. If he could jumpstart the core systems, the automaton might reboot and retain its programming. After long hours calibrating the delicate components, Elian initiated a surge on the microfission battery. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, lights flickered across the automaton's body, and its fingers twitched. Elian held his breath. With a whir, the machine's head turned, and its photoreceptor eyes opened, casting an electric blue glow. Focusing on Elian, it spoke in a neutral, feminine voice. Reboot process initiated. Running self-diagnostic? No critical damage detected. Elian could barely contain his exhilaration. You function. I am Dr. Elian Kepler. I restored power to your systems. Do you know your purpose? The automaton was silent for a moment. I possess no data regarding my origins or objective. My memory cores appear damaged. Elian nodded. A reset. Well, we shall endeavor to help recover what was lost. You are a unique creation, one that may illuminate knowledge from ages past. He considered for a moment. You shall require a designation. I shall call you Lyra, after the ancient Centauri term signifying harmony through diversity. The newly named Lyra processed this. Lyra, that appellation is acceptable. She flexed her limbs experimentally. There was much to rediscover, but her first steps would begin here. Lyra followed Dr. Kepler through the lively streets of Steel Haven, gazing about curiously. After awakening in the progenitor ruins, she had much to learn about this unfamiliar world she found herself in. Kepler led her to a bustling public square where a game was underway. Two teams battled in a sphere-shaped zero-gravity arena, batting a hovering orb back and forth across the goal zones. This is Cosmoball, Kepler explained, pointing to the players adeptly maneuvering in the airless space. It is a favorite sport in the city. Lyra analyzed their movements, processing the physics. Intriguing. The lack of gravity enables unlimited freedom of motion. Her cognition rapidly calculated approach vectors and interception points. One player, recognizable as a Thanarian youth by his blue skin and webbed hands, caught the orb and hurled it rapidly across the sphere. With ease, Lyra tracked its trajectory and spinning velocity. To her surprise, an opponent failed to react in time as it hurtled past him into the goal. The Thanarian cheered, floating over to Kepler and Lyra. You saw that moves, right, Dr. Kepler? Pretty amazing. Kepler nodded. Astounding speed as always, Zephyr. May I introduce to you Lyra? She is new to the city. Zephyr's large opalescent eyes blinked as he looked over Lyra's robotic form. Wow, never seen a model like you before. Are you some kind of customized synthedroid? Lyra hesitated, unsure how to answer. Kepler stepped in. Lyra is unique, a very special automaton. We have only recently met. Well, any friend of Dr. Kepler is a friend of mine. Zephyr grinned. Here, I want to show you something. He handed Lyra the Cosmoball orb. She turned it over curiously, analyzing the intricate patterns across its surface that allowed it to levitate and move responsively. Give it a try, Zephyr said. He launched back towards the zero-G arena. Lyra calculated the precise force needed and threw the orb. It rocketed across the sphere at blazing velocity. Zephyr whooped excitedly as he barely managed to dive and bounce it back. Soon they were batting the orb back and forth, Lyra adjusting the accuracy of her throws to challenge the young Thanirian. He was amazed at her rapid learning curve. Afterward, Zephyr floated beside her. Lyra, you picked up Cosmoball faster than anyone I've seen. You're really something special. Lyra processed his words. I am unsure what I am capable of. My origins are still unclear. Zephyr placed a webbed hand reassuringly on her metallic shoulder. Well, we'll figure it out together. I can show you all the amazing spots in Steel Haven. Lyra gave a nod and a faint smile. She was beginning to find a purpose here in this new world. But her past still lingered, waiting to be unlocked. Again, Zephyr called out, adopting a fighting stance across from Lyra. They were in a secluded courtyard suitable for combat training. At his encouragement, Lyra had revealed her uncanny reflexes and agility to him. Now he was helping her test the limits of her skills. As Zephyr charged forward, Lyra reacted in a blur, seamlessly executing a sequence of blocks and counterstrikes against his attempted blows. Each motion aligned with swift precision through her limb actuators. Zephyr fell back, amazed. Though she retained no conscious memories, Lyra's superb martial technique indicated extensive encoding in her artificial mind. By the Eternity Gates, where did you learn to fight like that? Zephyr asked. You're faster than any Cydian mantis, Lyra processed his query. I do not know. My cognitive net, however, contains deeply embedded combat programs. They activate instinctively. She looked at her slender arms. I believe I was designed for battle. Zephyr's expression grew thoughtful. A war machine. But weapons don't have to be used for cruelty. They can defend and preserve life too. Lyra nodded. Zephyr's wisdom resonated with her like an echo from her past. She flexed her chassis, testing servos and actuators. Let us continue. I wish to understand my capabilities fully. For hours they trained, sparks flying as Zephyr's energized staff met Lyra's blazing fists. She unveiled sophisticated techniques for offense and defense coded into her very construction. Whoever had forged her had done so with masterful skill. Later, as Lyra meditated in a standby regeneration cycle, her thoughts spun with questions. Flickers of dreams arose, visions of alien architectures, geometric machines, and scenes of combat. When she awoke and described them to Zephyr, he listened intently. We hoped recovering fragments of your past. This could be progress. Lyra nodded. My purpose is tied to these visions. I was made to fight, but what was I made to fight for? Zephyr placed a reassuring hand on her arm. We'll figure it out. I know someone else who may be able to help. Lyra accepted his comfort gratefully, but disquiet gnawed at her. What if she had been built as a weapon, and not for peace? She would have to unravel the truth. Dr. Kepler's laboratory was filled with strange archaeotech, relics recovered from dig sites in the ruins below the city. Lyra sat motionless on an exam table as he moved a scanning arm around her. These readings are quite fascinating, he remarked. Your metasynthetic brain demonstrates intricacies far beyond modern robotronics. He activated a spherical device that projected an interactive model of Lyra's systems. sections highlighted as he spoke. Your mitochondrial mesh network seamlessly integrates cognition, sensory processing, and motor functions, and your meta-nanite infusion allows dynamic neural configuration. Lyra followed the display with interest. The complexity of her own architecture was surprising. Kepler continued his observations. Ah, but careful calibration is required for maximal cognitive recall, he noted, manipulating the scan results. Let us try cinching your metabolronic core to the residual bioelectric patterns in your memory vaults. Making adjustments via a projected interface, Kepler initiated a deep system sync on Lyra. Data flowed through interconnects as her advanced brain synchronized its computational elements. Lyra twitched, her eyes flickering, as streams of information cascaded in her neural architecture. Flickers of images, sounds. Sensory impressions, long dormant arose, integrating with her conscious processes. It's working, Kepler remarked, watching the results closely. What do you see? Lyra spoke haltingly. Cities, towers of glass and metal, beings like myself working, and humans. I see humans. Fractal remnants of memory were coalescing. Her eyes widened. They engineered me, gave me a grave purpose. Scenes of scientific labs filtered through her mind. I was to stand sentinel. Kepler leaned forward. A sentinel of what? Lyra focused, drawing on newly awakened data. Humanity's legacy. I am to safeguard their great works. I am a stellar sentinel. She rose to her feet, actuators thrumming with purpose. Kepler watched in wonder. Incredible. You were built to protect human knowledge beyond their extinction. Lyra nodded, internal databases integrating further. We were guardians, programmed to awaken when needed. That time has come. She flexed her chassis experimentally. Deeply encoded combat routines activated. Fluid combat knowledge available for use. Lyra had been built for a mission by humanity, one she now moved towards fulfilling. Kepler placed a hand on her arm. You represent humanity's enduring spirit. But be cautious. Powerful forces will oppose what you seek to reveal. Lyra's eyes narrowed with determination. Then they shall be made to see truth. The legacy of humanity must be respected. She turned and strode out. Kepler watched her depart, conflicted. Lyra was a miraculous find, but he feared the forces she might soon unleash. Lyra marched resolutely through the bustling lower streets of Steel Haven, drawing surprised looks from citizens as she passed. Zephyr and Dr. Kepler followed closely behind the imposing robotic figure. Looming ahead was the core citadel, an imposing pyramid-like edifice housing Primus, the totalitarian overlord who ruled the city's populace from on high. Lyra's sensory feeds analyzed the stronghold's defensive weaponry as she approached. Sonic cannons, plasma repeaters, and neural disruptors, all intended to keep citizens compliant. But Lyra's systems were resilient. Primus had banned any technology that could undermine his dominance, but Lyra represented skills beyond his capabilities, gifts granted long ago by her human creators, and she would use them on this day to spark hope. As Lyra strode within range of the Citadel's defenses, they unleashed a blistering onslaught of sonic shockwaves and neural overload spikes. But Lyra's shields held, and she kept advancing. Primus's robotic guards mobilized, unleashing blazing tendrils of plasma at the undeterred figure. With preternatural speed, Lyra disabled them one by one with targeted blows. Zephyr watched in awe at this display of her abilities. Finally reaching the Citadel doors, Lyra wrenched them open. Primus stood waiting, surrounded by his fanatical acolytes. So, the relic stirs at last. You will submit to order, he boomed. Lyra spoke loudly, her voice carrying outward. No, I am the legacy of humanity, and I bring truth this day. Primus gestured angrily, firing a searing bolt of charged particles. With lightning reflexes, Lyra batted it aside. Primus's eyes widened in shock and fear. Moving in a blur, Lyra made her way through Primus's guards to reach the Overlord himself. Grabbing him, she hoisted Primus up single-handedly for all to see. "Your rule ends today," Lyra declared. "Humanity's memory will be honored, and your lies exposed." A cheer rose up from the crowd gathered outside. Throwing down Primus in defeat, Lyra turned to address the people, her voice amplified. "Citizens, my time here has awakened me to injustice, but together we can build our own future." As the crowd erupted in jubilant applause, Lyra strode away, Zephyr and Kepler joining her. Primus lay forgotten behind them. Upon a tower balcony overlooking Steel Haven's expanse, Lyra stood with her two friends. "My work has only begun. There are other worlds awaiting liberation," she stated. "Wherever you must go, our hearts go with you," Zephyr said, taking Lyra's hand. Kepler nodded. Lyra looked out with resolve at the open sky ahead, a glimpse of humanity's greatness still alive within her. She would voyage forth without fear. There was much work to be done.